Hello dear viewers, today we're going to talk about Napoleonica Steel and Magic, which is a tactical wargame on hexagonal map with units of squads. It is based on Napoleonic era, which was chosen because it is well loved and well known. However, as you can see, it is more fantasy based, so it's not completely accurate. It has a game time of about from 60 to 90 minutes in the basic game mode, but there are other game modes. The most common one is PvP based on scenarios. There are also solos and tournament or campaign, as you could call it. There are two starting kits with which players can begin their playtime. The first one consists of the things which are more portable, more easy to use, and there are also these beautiful models, which, as you can see, are quite epic. So the game consists of a few rounds, usually about 5 or 6 rounds. In each of these rounds, there are multiple turns during which the players use the characters to move, attack, and etc. At the beginning of each round, we draw 3 cards. 2, 3. After which we need to decide which of the players has the initiative. To do that, we draw 5 cards from the maneuver deck. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And out of these 5 cards, we choose we choose 3 of them. 2 of them that you don't like go back to the deck, and 3 remain. On each card, there is a number at the bottom. The higher the number, the bigger chance you will win the initiative, because the one with the bigger number wins. So what we do is we face down the card, and my opponent does the same, after which we reveal them. I reveal this card, and let's say I have the bigger number, so I get the initiative. After that, I take a card from the escalation deck, which has 2 things on the top and the bottom, and it also has 2 sides, each of which I can choose. I choose the red one because I like this one better, and what it gives me is it tells us how many orders we gain at the beginning of the turn, and how many cards we will gain at the end of the turn. So I put this here so that both players know how many orders and cards they get. And after that, I, as the one with the bigger initiative, choose one of these cards. So let's say I choose this one, because I want to take 1 blue order. So firstly, I take my 3 orders from the escalation card. So I got purple, blue, and green. I got pretty lucky. And then I look for the blue one. And where are you hiding? Oh, I found it. So I have 4 orders. And my opponent, after that, my opponent chooses another card. Let's say this one. And the last one goes to the graveyard. And after that, we can finally play. So one of the main parts of the game is the maneuver deck. In the maneuver deck, there are 30 cards, and the 31st card is a decoy, which is used to fool your opponent. And out of all of these cards, there are 3 types. The first type is the buff card, which simply allows you to buff your unit during its turn. The second type is an action, which is used standalone instead of using your unit during your turn. And the third one is reaction, which is used to react to your to what your opponent is doing during their turn. So, as I said before, there is also a unique card called Decoy, which is used specifically to fool your opponent. Now, let's go through more details. So, the cards can be used in two types. The first one is to do what is written here in the main text, or during your turn when your unit is attacking, you can simply drop down your card like this, and after revealing it, you will add this amount of dice to your attack. There are also cards with or. So what it tells you is that you can either use this or this. Okay. And also during the initiative, when you are choosing which card to use for initiative, you can also use Decoy to fool your opponent. And if you win the initiative, you will not lose the Decoy, because any other cards that you use for initiative, if you win the initiative, you will lose them. Also, there is a limit of up to 7 cards from the maneuver deck which you can have in your hand at once. And as I already told, at the end of the round, you take this amount of maneuver deck cards into your hand. So, yeah. The game consists of many rounds. Each round has many turns, and players play turns one by one. So, for example, I finished my turn, then my enemy uses his turn to do whatever he wants, and it goes on until we're out of orders. Each turn can have 2 actions. These actions can be either to activate your units, or to use one of your cards. There are 4 different orders. There are the green ones, the blue ones, the red ones, and the purple ones. The green ones usually activate infantry. The blue ones usually activate cavalry. Red ones are for artillery. And the purple one is a joker. It can activate any type of unit. You can also see on the unit cards which exact order is needed to activate. So, for example, for artillery, it's the red one. And after the end of the turn, if one of the player or all of the player declare a pass and they still have orders which they could use, they will still go back to your pouch from which you took orders at the beginning, and they will be basically be burned, and you won't be able to use them during the next round. And also, when you're out of orders and when you're out of cards, you can do anything. What you have to do is declare a pass, and in that case, if your opponent can move, he moves without restrictions, so he can move without giving you the turn. And when he is done also, then that turn is over, and that round is over. So, as I already said, you can take 2 actions during each turn. There are 2 types of action. Firstly, you can use your order to move any of your units. For example, I will move my artillery like this. If it was in range of an enemy, it could also attack, but unfortunately there are no enemies right now. And I will use my second action during this turn to use this action card. It says that I can draw 2 random orders from my pouch, and I will do exactly that. And what I gain is another green and another blue. And after that, I used up my 2 actions and my turn is over. Now it's up to my opponent. There are 2 types of attacks in this game. The first one is melee attack, and the second one is the ranged attack. They're shown on character cards right here, which also shows which dice are used to attack, and it also shows you how long is the range of the attack. So, for example, this attack can attack up to 3 hexes. So 1, 2, 3, right here. Let's imagine that these guys were here so that I can show you what an attack looks like. I will use these die which are shown here to attack. So I got these dice. I will also explain to you what they do. This one, the punching one, means that you are going to knock back your enemies. They're going to retreat either here or here. This one means damage. So I will simply take away one of the models. And this one means crit. What crit does, it automatically deals 1 damage, and it also allows you to use your critical property. Each unit has a unique crit. So, for example, this one adds another purple die. So, I had 2 punches which don't stack, and I have a crit. So, I move them here, and I take away 1 model, which goes to the reinforcement track. Now let's show the melee attack. Let's imagine that our wolves were here. Yeah. And what I will do is I will give them an order. They need a green order. Move them right here. And attack using them. They need a blue and a purple die. So I dealt 1 damage, I take away 1 of the carry, and I put them right here on the reinforcement track. And that's that. So one of the main mechanics of Napoleonica is fatigue. What fatigue allows you to do, it allows you to activate your unit more than once during a round. So for example, if I want to activate my wolves once again, I will give them 1 more order, and they will also receive fatigue. So what fatigue what's interesting about fatigue is that your opponent can also use it against you. For example, I will attack using this unit, which is slightly fatigued, and I will roll my dice. So let's say I got 1 damage. My opponent can say, you lose 1 fatigue, but you must re-roll these dice. So I re-roll these dice, and I get a worse result. Okay, now in case I want to activate my wolves once again, I will give them another order. They will get 2 fatigue. And what that allows, if I want to activate them after that, my opponent can simply say, I cancel your activation, but you lose your fatigue. So I lose my 2 fatigue, and I also lose my activation completely. And in case if my unit has its is at maximum fatigue at the end of the turn, for my wolves it's 3 fatigue, which is written here. So let us add 1 more. In case it ends its turn on maximum fatigue, it can no longer move until the next round. During the next round, what it can do, it can use an, give me a second, it can be given an order so that it can activate an action called rest. What rest does, is simply remove these fatigue tokens, but your unit can't do anything else. And that's fatigue. So now let's talk about unit cards. There are many different things on these cards, but I will explain each one to you. First one is how many units are in that squad. So for example, these wolves have 3 units in them, which is basically HP. So if I deal 1 damage, I take away 1 unit. The second one is which order it needs to be activated. This one is the movement speed of the unit, for how many hexes it can move during one activation. This one is how much fatigue it can take before it reaches its maximum. These are the keywords. This is the crit, which what the unit will do in case of a crit. This is a melee attack, and this is the ranged attack. Now let's go more detailed about keywords. So in this game, most of the keywords are activated by using fatigue. So for example, these wolves have a keyword which says gain 1 fatigue, but also gain 1 extra movement speed. So what I would do at the beginning of my turn, I would say I am using this, gain 1 fatigue, but move for 1 extra hex. There are also many other keywords which don't need fatigue to be activated. For example, wolves have grenade, which simply says deal damage for 2 red die in the range of 2. And that's the basics of keywords and characters in general. Okay, now let's talk about reinforcement track. Reinforcement track is used to reinforce your squads of units. So, for example, at the beginning of each round, each unit on the reinforcement track, which are the units that have been slain during the previous round, they move by 1. If they reach this point, in that case, if they move once more on the reinforcement track, they will go back to the squad from which they were lost. So, for example, this guy will go back here. Also, I would like to add that you cannot reinforce one squad by more than 1 unit. So, for example, if 2 of these guys were dead, I could only reinforce the squad by 1. Also, you can move the reinforcement track by using these reinforcement cards. So, for example, as I already told you, at the bottom, there is a special thing you can do if you draw this card. Take 1 random order from the pouch, or I can use this. This tells me that I can move any amount of units by 2 on the reinforcement track. So for example, I move this guy by 2 and he comes back. Or I could move 2 units by 1, etc, etc. There are no limitations on this. Oops. And yes, that's it. In Napoleonica, there is an asymmetrical faction which is called the Abyssal Swarm. It has a unique property which is called corruption. What it does, it allows you to have unique actions if you spend it. For example, this artillery unit has the capability of adding 1 more range to its attack and striking without a line of sight if you use corruption. And most of the units of this faction have such abilities, which makes it well, my favorite one and one of the most fun ones. So what's the point of the game? How do you win? To win in this game, you need to gain victory points. You gain victory points by doing these actions. Firstly, destroying a squad of units, a whole squad, not just a singular unit, but a squad. Secondly, by destroying a commander, you gain 2 points. And you also gain points by fulfilling scenario conditions. For example, on the current scenario, our condition is to be on the point. If your unit is standing on the point at the end of the round, then you will gain 1 victory point. And the first player to reach the desired amount, usually 10 points, is the victor. There are also many game modes, as I said previously, in this game. The first game mode is the most basic one, which is called PvP by scenarios, in which you are simply fighting your opponent on a map which is shown in a scenario. Each scenario will be written in a rule book, where you will be able to see different maps and different armies that can be used. Instead of simply taking an army from a scenario, you can choose to build your own army. So each character possesses development points, which allows you to use a set amount of characters on the battlefield. So, for example, you come to an arrangement with your opponent that you're going to play up to 200 development points, the things, and you both make your armies taking into account that you can have more than 200 of these points. Okay, the second game mode is Tournament, also known as Campaign. It's a game mode that consists of many consecutive battles, during which, after each battle, where you can upgrade your units, get more units, more points for them. So, for example, let's say I've only had one of these guys. I could buy another whole squad of these guys, or I could give them one of these cards, which just gives passive buffs. The next one is solo. Solo can be played by yourself, and it can have two types of play. The first one would be singular battles, where you just fight regularly with a singular opponent, or it can be a whole campaign of consecutive battle, which turns the tables for war games, because it is very interesting. During campaigns, you can purchase buffs, you can purchase more units in the same way as in tournament. And that's it about the rules. I hope you enjoyed the video and it was informative, and we'll be waiting on the Kickstarter.